So on day one, as soon as I walk in ready to get autographs, there's Anthony Montgomery. He was Mayweather on the Enterprise and one of my top I must get autographs. I was able to talk to him because there was virtually no one else there yet. I'm an early riser and I'm going to be there as soon as things open. So he's there. I got to chat with him and he was so nice. I told him about my son going into the police academy soon and that I had rewatched Enterprise just months before coming and had seen it sort of through new eyes, especially when it came to his character going off for the first time to go do his life, you know, figure out what he's going to be doing for his future. And he was really, really kind, letting me babble on. And he gave me this wonderful autograph. And I got lucky again because shortly after that, Connor and Keating were there. I will say you could tell when people are coming in that they're just kind of setting up, and I was way too anxious hiding in. Oh my gosh. And again, they were so nice. God, they were just so kind, and they gave me a photograph to take for my mom who had made these masks that I had been giving out, and all three of them were nice enough to take one. I wanted to talk to Billingsley. He was there. I did not have the extra ticket to go get another autograph, and whenever I saw him, he was lined up. So I think I have him on the background of one of my pictures, but I was not brave enough to talk to him. So that's my little Enterprise outing. Another autograph that I didn't really expect to get, but was really, really happy that I got the chance to get was this one, Robert O'Reilly. He is such a fantastic actor that I really did not expect him to be that nice in person. But he was so personable and friendly and happy. Those eyes, you cannot miss them. And I just really thank him. He gave me a special autograph for my mother-in-law, who I thought would get a bit of a kick out of it, and she did. I knew I wanted to have Jeffrey Combs. I always had a secret love for the Andorians because, well, I grew up with the Smurfs, so, you know, a blue alien, I was happy to see them. But we didn't see them much after the original series. When Jeffrey Combs, who was already a talented actor that we knew from previous parts, characters that he'd played, who could ever forget Leon? It was just like this moment of utter joy. Yes, we get Andorians, and yes, we're going to get it played by somebody who knows the franchise. And he brought so much to the Andorian race that we didn't know before. He was such a part of let's learn more about a race that we have had in the verse for, you know, what, 5 decades at least. But it was such an exciting experience to just say, hey, thanks, and have a great day. Now, of course, being Catherine and from Indiana, one of my favorites is, of course, Voyager. And Voyager came out when I was a new mom. But there was a strange metaphor, a parallel to taking adventure, feeling like you are completely alone and yet surrounded by people who care about you and are there to back you up. I watched it loyally. I could not miss an episode of that crew tackling a crazy and insane new whatever. And I loved the episodes that did bring new stories. We get a lot of recycled stories in Star Trek, but they had a chance to do some really interesting things. And I just thought it had some really great storylines and the ability to go meet races in a completely different place, utterly cut off. I enjoyed the catastrophe of it all. One of my favorite characters, I think everybody loved him, was Ensign Kim. So when Garrett was there with his family, I jumped at the chance. And his daughter was there. She was selling some bracelets that she had made. And my request for my daughter was to find pretty, colorful jewelry. So I got a bracelet from her for my daughter and one for my granddaughter. What I found is that he's a very personable guy and likes to talk to his fans, and I appreciated that. I gave him one of the masks my mom made as well. He was nice enough to take it and signed me an autograph for my mother, personalized, thanking her for the mask as well. Now, because of COVID, the actors who could come or couldn't come got jumbled and changed quite often. So about three or 4 weeks before the convention, I just stopped looking because they were changing almost daily. I walked in virtually unaware of who I was going to be getting an autograph for, except for the ones that came with my ticket. So I did my rounds, of course, looking to see who was free, and I was utterly thrilled to see Gary there. Now, Gary Graham played Ambassador Saval, who was prickly kind of Vulcan from day one, but who doesn't love Gary? I personally was a huge mega fan because of Alien Nation. It's like, it was a movie, and when they decided to make it into a series, Gary Oldman was put in, was the actor who played Sykes, Detective Sykes. I did get 2 autographs from Gary, and one for each of the shows. One as Sykes, and one, of course, as his ambassador self. I'm really happy to have both and gushed over him. Probably also put my foot in my mouth. But what are you going to do? I've had one chance to talk to him. I'll put my foot in my mouth and still try to get out of thank you for doing such an awesome job. You've been so entertaining. Now, with Discovery at that time having some reschedule, we didn't get as much of them as we were hoping. Mary, of course, and Noah came out, and a few other people. There was one other person other than Mary that I really had wanted to get an autograph of. Since I was low on funds, I had to make some tough decisions. However, it came down to who I was most impressed with character-wise on Discovery. And I love Adira because in my real life, I know no one that is non-binary. Everybody is a boy or a girl. They've never claimed non-binary. So as strange as this sounds, I don't get practice to use they properly. And they have opened my eyes to ensuring that I take the time to be as respectful as other people as I possibly can. Self-identity is important. They want to be addressed properly, and they've given me the practice to really talk about someone who I think is an incredible character and get the practical practice of using the proper words. Sounds like a small thing, but my family has been LGBTQ friendly for as long as I can remember. My sister came out when she was 19. I've got family members who have lived their own truth for a very long time. So trying to be respectful of self-identity is something that I personally do think about. And so I've got Blue, and they're so cool to meet in person. I wish I could have had the guts to say more to them about how much they've influenced how I try to approach people, but just the ability to stand in front of them and smile and say thank you really was pretty incredible. Okay, found her. Jane Brooke also was there, and she was on my gold list, so I've got Jane Brooke as well. I did remember that she was in one of my, what do you want to call it? Guilty pleasure movies of my teenage years. Don't Call Mom, The Babysitter's Dead with Christina Applegate and David Duchovny. She played the irritated secretary in David Duchovny's His Girl Friday and their evil plans to destroy Christina Applegate's life. But it was really a pleasure to meet her and let her know that I'd really appreciated her earlier work. And then the last autograph I got, I believe was also for Golden Ticket, was for this. Unfortunately, I was not able to meet him, so I do have an autograph. However, I do have a slightly sadder story about another picture. Oh, one other thing that I got in the vendor room is this blanket here. I got that on the first night because as nice as the hotels are in Vegas, if you're lucky enough to get a decent one, room temperature control is sort of an impossibility. I don't know if it's because you're coming in from the heat and so you're immediately like, yay, air conditioning. And then by the time you adjust to it, you're freezing. So I got myself a blanket. And I knew I was going to get a throw blanket as soon as I got there because I've been to Vegas enough times to know that I'm going to freeze. I always pack one sweatshirt to Las Vegas, and one pair of trousers or sweats so that I can be warm in my room without fiddling with the temperature control the whole time. And here's an autograph that not only did I get for myself, but I got for my sister as well. John Del Arco, who really touched us all when he became Hugh on The Next Generation, was so fun to watch on panels on YouTube to see him talking about having a chance to reprise the character. And when he was interviewing for Picard, I decided then and there that if I could, I was going to get his autograph, not just for myself. I'm greedy, I'm getting it for myself, but also for my little sister who really enjoyed the characters as well. Someone who didn't quite fit in, kind of touched both of us. So I was really happy to find that he, again, very kind, very nice, very friendly person, and really glad he took the time to set me up with 2 autographs. And I could not have been happier to see Gigi there. If you're not familiar with her work, I'm not familiar with her body of work, to be honest, but I also am a huge Farscape fan, and she was super fun. I wish I could have hung out with her and been her bestest friend for the weekend. I came very close to being her stalker, but stepped back. What happened was I saw her there and did not recognize her face because, of course, as Chiana on Farscape, she is covered head to toe in either leather or makeup. So she had her poster behind her with the photograph, her image as Chiana, and I kind of went up and said, "Oh my gosh, are you?" And she says, yeah. And she was so nice and friendly and smiley. And like I said, there are some people that you meet and you just know that they would be super fun to hang out with. She absolutely is one of those people. She signed this wonderful autograph for me, and she was there at her booth quite a bit. So I walked by a lot and gave her a wave. At one of the events in the evenings, she was at the table next to me. This is where I became almost a stalker. I was there by myself, was just there to hear the Roddenberrys play for a little bit. And she's dancing and having fun. And I almost went up to see if I could join her group of friends, but I'm me and she's her. So I backed off and hung out and listened to the music for a little while. Did a round around the room to go look at some of the great cosplay. There were some excellent Klingons there. And then headed back to my room. So as brave as I could be was sitting at the table next to her and kind of going, gosh, I wish we could be pals. And then heading back. One person who I waited in line for was still in the main vendor's room, was Mary Weissman. Oh my gosh, her hair is just as awesome in person as it is on the screen. She is a very nice person in person. I'm glad to say, not one of those actors who's acting like a nice person on screen but happens to be a jerk in person. No, she's friendly, and there were so many people there. I could tell she was tired, but again, just personable and thankful. Now, there are 2 autographs from actors that I met there that I'm going to just squee every time I remember that I have them, look at them on the wall, which I am getting set. One of those autographs is Tony Amendola. Please, I hope I didn't mess up his name too much. Now, again, Tony only showed up on, I think it was 1 episode of Voyager in The Muse. I could be wrong. I'll have to go back and look. I could be way off. But we know him, at least I do, from Stargate as Master Braytek. Also, he's in one of the video games for Star Wars that I've been playing. It's around here somewhere. And I've been... and I was not expecting to meet him, obviously. Again, with all the names changing, I had not been keeping up with the updates. But they said his name, and I was like, "Are you sure?" And I went and checked, and oh my gosh, there he is. That was very cool. I did not get a chance to talk to him because he was a gold one, and it was a long line. And all I did get to say was, "Thank you so much. You're awesome." He was, "Thank you very much." And moved on to the next person. There's only so much time they have to say hi when there's a line behind you, but it was just really cool to meet him. Last but definitely not least, I'd like to have a little talk about Icheb's dad. If you can't tell, I'm also a slight fan of a few other things. And when I saw his name there, I double checked because he's only in one episode. But then again, so was Tony. So I immediately got my ticket and headed up. He was a replacement for one of the other actors on my gold ticket list. So I headed right there with my little ticket. And I definitely put my foot in my mouth. Doesn't have the fondest memories of Supernatural, and that's where I loved him from the most. His character was ever evolving, crazy, doing ridiculous things on a regular basis, and I enjoyed it so much. He probably wasn't real pleased to hear how much I enjoyed it, but he did let me say it and said thank you and was pretty good. He made a little joke about it, or I made a little joke about I'm not in any danger with him around because I am protected. And that's pretty much all of my live in-person autographs that I have to share.